let's talk about, getting out of the field and moving into the office so you can focus on growing the business. This was a very difficult thing for me. It took me probably a year and a half to finally get out. And I'll tell you a quick process of kind of what happened was, initially what happens, you're good, you do good work, you're cheap, you're fast, and you care about your customers more than anybody. So then those customers tell customers. Those people become customers. Now they tell their friends and family, and it just grows. And so you just stretch yourself out to where you just stretch too thin, and that's what happens. So you hire somebody. Well, then that one person takes off a little bit of the load, but you're still doing a great job. And if you're doing the right things, your customer list continues to grow, and as it grows, then it's time to buy a van. So you buy a van, and you hire someone else and put them in that van. Well, sooner or later, it's never ending. You're going to keep stretching yourself too thin. So there'll come a point where if you don't get out of the field, you're going to stifle the growth of the business. And one of the first things that happened to me was that when I first started stepping out of the field, I was primarily focusing on bids and sales. And so I would go do bids, I would sell a bunch of work, and then we'd get busy. So I'd have to jump in a van and go help. Then we'd run out of work again. So then I'd get out of the field, then I'd start selling stuff, and then I'd go. It was just this endless cycle. And so if you ever decide that you want to grow your company, you might be perfectly happy and you might be making great money, and that's great. If that's what makes you happy, keep doing that. But if you do want to create a future for your coworkers and a future for yourself that includes a company that can give you a paycheck whether you're there or not, or you can take a couple weeks off if you want to, and the whole world doesn't collapse and you don't starve, then you're going to want to grow your company someday, if you ever want that. So when it comes to growing the company, one of the first things and hardest things, because your customers don't understand, you're their guy. You're the guy who they've always had come to their house. You've built rapport with them. You're friends. You may even be friends at this point. I mean, you may have been their guy for the last 2 or 3 years, and you see them 2 or 3 times a year. And so you get that dreaded question. I know when I first stepped out of the van, I was still answering the phone, so I would get that dreaded question, is it going to be you? And that was always a hard question to answer because it wasn't going to be me. So in order to overcome that objection, I would tell them, I would say, hey, Mrs. Smith, no, I'm sorry, it's not going to be me. I've got some meetings this afternoon, but I'm going to send John. John's my best guy, and he's going to take tremendous care of you. I've personally trained John, and I wouldn't send somebody out to your house that I didn't feel was qualified, because you know how much I care about my customers and care about you. I want you to be happy with us. So if for any reason you're not happy with him, you give me a call. And then, 9 times out of 10, they would call me back and they would tell me, John is great. John did a great job. He's a good worker. You're going to have to keep him because I want him again next time he comes out. And that just blew my mind. It's like that quick. We have this long relationships, and now you're ready to dump him for John, my other guy. But that's what I wanted, So it's really in your head. It's not that John can't solve all of the problems for your clients, or whoever your John is, or Mary, or whoever it is. That's just a mental block for you. So you need to if you're going to grow the company, you've got to get out of the field so you can build the processes that you're going to need to run smoothly when you have a lot of jobs on the schedule. You're going to have to lead and inspire and motivate your culture. And show them the possibility and show them the potential that they have in themselves and the potential that the company has, so they can have a better future. Because the bottom line, you want to create a better future for your coworkers, right? I mean, they're hard-working people, and you've been working alongside them for a long time if you're still in the field. Don't you want better for them, for yourself? And that's really hard to do if you can't focus on the things you need to do to grow the business. So, but you may go through a sense of identity loss. I know I did. I lost my identity. I mean, I'm a service tech. You know, I'm still a service tech. So I wasn't getting that sense of gratification for fixing problems and finishing that install. I wasn't getting the pat on the back from Mrs. Smith, or whatever you want to say. I mean, I wasn't getting the sense of accomplishment. So, and I wasn't seeing a direct of what I was working on in the office. I wasn't seeing a direct and getting a direct thank you and getting direct results, like immediate results from every single thing I did in the office. So I wasn't getting that sense of accomplishment 4, 5, 6 times a day, every day. And that I got depressed for a little while. I didn't know what to do when I got into the office. And I think that's the thing. Maybe when you first got into heating and air conditioning, I know when I did, I hated heat pumps, hated them. Well, that's just because I didn't understand them. And so for a long time, I hated being in the office. I hated it, and that's just because I didn't understand what my role was. I didn't feel like I was earning my paycheck when I was in the office. So that's just a limiting belief. You have to get out of that, and if you want to grow your company and make a better future for yourself and your coworkers, you've got to get out of the field. So I hope this helped, and it's totally up to you. It's your decision. So you have to make it. You've got to stick to it. Hold yourself accountable. When you want to jump in the van, I finally got to a breaking point where I was like, I'm not doing it. I will not do it. And that was the only way. Because it's too easy to jump back in a van and go back in the field. So I held myself accountable and I quit doing it. Now, if my guys get stuck on something, I'll go out and help them a little bit. Or if I sell a particular job, I don't sell very much, but if I do sell a job and it's maybe something different that we don't do every day, I'll be involved. But I'm not doing the heavy lifting anymore. I'll just hurt myself, honestly. I mean, I try to keep in shape and I work out regularly, but twisting in different different positions and being on my knees and reaching my arms out in different positions with my shoulders, my body's broken down because I stayed in the truck too long. So don't make that mistake. If you want to grow your business, if you want to get to a point where you can take some time off, make a better future, get out of the truck, and it's going to be a struggle, but you can do it. So hope this helps, guys. Have a great weekend. Go make money.